Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer. You know, I've got to tell you, I never tell oil jokes. They're too crude. I think my jokes should be more refined. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Rotten Tomatoes, the card game from Cryptozoic Entertainment. We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review. Rotten Tomatoes, the card game from Cryptozoic Entertainment, is a party game that can play up to over 20 people. The game is very simple. There are a number of Rotten Tomato cards, and they contain information like the title of the film, the year it was released, the Tromometer rating, the audience score, the cast, and a plot summary of the movie. Now, generally how the game is played is you begin the game with 3 cards out in front of you. And with these 3 cards out in front of you, somebody then will read a card to you. They can give you all the information on the game except for the Rotten Tomatoes score. And then what you do is you look at the cards in front of you with their Rotten Tomatoes scores, and you have to guess where that would land. Does it land between the cards, or greater than the cards, or less than the cards? You have to find exactly where the card is going to go. So you guess that it's going to fit in between the cards, or above them, or below them. And if you do, you get to add that card to your tableau. If you don't, then that card is essentially discarded. Now, occasionally, you will draw a wild card. When you draw a wild card, you draw another Rotten Tomato card. And you have to get the person then to guess something about it. They may have to guess the title, they may have to guess the year, they may have to guess the cast or the audience score or the Rotten Tomatoes score. They may have to guess one of those things. So you can give them all the information on the card except those things, and the player then has to guess what exactly the name of that film is, or the cast, or whatever that wild card is asking for. So players go back and forth, they are giving information, and the player is going to have to guess where in the Tromometer that fits, or in the case of the wild card, what information that would be. But you go around and around, you keep doing this until one player has 10 cards in their tableau. The first player to get 10 cards wins! Rotten Tomatoes, the card game. So this game, Rotten Tomatoes, the card game, it's a party game. And for me, for my money, again, this feels less like a game and more like an activity. This is more of a game than something like, Cards Against Humanity, which is, I really don't think much of a game at all. That is an activity. And this one, it's kind of got that same little thing, but there's more of a game here than something like that. Still, the game, there's really not a lot of game here. It's just guess what the Rotten Tomatoes score is, or guess on what these wild cards ask for. There's not a lot of game there. Which is not to say you can't have fun with this game. In fact, I did. I almost think, though, this game would be more fun if it was more about some of these other issues. It would be about guessing the title of a film, or guessing these other things. If that was the most important part of the game, that would be fun. In fact, you could grab a deck of these cards and house rule just about anything like that here. Now, let me tell you, I'm a big movie buff. I love movies. I've loved movies since I was a kid. And so I kind of eat a lot of this stuff up. And to me, what we found as we're playing the game, really the most fun is not even the game. It's talking about these movies. Oh yeah, I remember that film. That was so cool. It's bringing back those memories. And so there's a lot of fun that comes kind of almost as a result of the game rather than from the game itself. Still, it's a pleasant activity. It's a decent activity. It's not for everyone. If you're not a film buff, this is not a game for you. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give it a try it before you buy it. I think you might get a kick out of it. If nothing else, for the nostalgia of some of these films and reliving and talking about some of these films, I think you'll get a kick out of. Just bear in mind, again, there's not a lot of game here. Try it before you buy it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. I'd also ask you, ladies and gentlemen, if you've liked this video or liked the channel, please take the time to click on the Super Thanks button here in the video, and leave a contribution if that's something you'd like to do. Also, please, I ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history and books on history and fun things like that. Please check that out. Please subscribe. And please give a thumb to this video on Board Game Geek. That helps us out a lot as well. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I've been thinking a lot about the English language and how we often borrow from other languages, like French. We have a lot of French words in our language, like, for instance, hors d'oeuvres. And that's just for starters.
Wrong. It scored even less than Beverly Hills Chihuahua.